And now, Rich, you're really a changed man. I mean, personally and in what you do. You go out, you travel all over the Southeast particularly, but even beyond, sharing on college campuses about the truth of Christianity. But there's also been a change in your heart and in your personal life.
Yeah.
And as we look to a new year
Yeah.
and giving people hope for a new year that God can change them, share a little bit about, if you're willing, about some of the more how has Jesus made a difference in your personal life?
Yeah. I mean, without going into a lot of details, up front there, after I had gotten on board with Christianity, I was still holding some things back. You know, there were some idols in my life that I wanted to let go, but at the same time, I found it really challenging to let those go. God stuck with me. You know, God is sometimes referred to as the Hound of Heaven.
He's so patient with us.
Yeah, once we from the heart make that commitment to Him, He doesn't change His mind about us. You know, that doesn't mean that things aren't going to be hard. I experienced some real hardship during that time, but at the end of it, what I found is God was there. God wanted me to let go of what I was holding on to, and what better time than going into a new year. Yeah. Most of us have something that we're holding on to that is standing in the way of a deeper relationship with God. And going into a new year, just trusting Him enough to say, God, you can take out of my hand. It might hurt a little bit, but I know what you're going to give me is better than what I'm holding on to here.
Boy, that reminds me of a phrase I heard years ago. There's never a God-ordained death without a God-accomplished resurrection. In other words, if God leads you to die to something, whether it's die to a relationship or die to an addiction or die to a sin or die to an old habit, He will resurrect something far better. And it really takes trust to believe that He will do that and before it happens. Yeah. And that's what faith is all about. It's the substance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. And this is where I think, Rich, knowing the character of God is so important. The more you know who He is, for example, Romans 12, His will is good, acceptable, and perfect. In other words, His will is good. It's acceptable. It's perfect for you. It's not a bad will. It's not... In other words, following God and being in the center of His will is good. It's good for you, but sometimes to get that, we have to die to something. We have to give up something. And so that God-ordained death will result in a God-accomplished resurrection if you're willing to trust Him. And that's what it sounds like you did.
Right, yeah.
You had to die to some things.
Yeah.
And so we hope that this gives you hope as you trust God going into 2017. And thank you, Rich, for sharing with us.
Yeah.